This is going to be another continuation of my inlay on this piece of moose horn. I don't know if you can see it very good or not, but I drilled and tapped a little series of holes there, and in fact I drilled a hole down in there just to let the solder pour down in and for something for it to adhere to. So this is what we're going to do here. I'm going to set the camera up here, and we're going to tape this up, get the masking tape on, and we're going to try another pour on this. I know I've had a couple failures here in the past, but let's see if we can get it squared away. So I will set up, get suited up, and ready to go. Oh, I better taper up before I get too gloved up here. That would be my first step. And this, like I said, this is just common masking tape. There's nothing special about it, but it, for some reason, doesn't catch fire. Well, all that much. I mean, it will catch fire. Don't get me wrong, but it seems like the hot solder don't want to. And like I said before in one of the last videos, you want this, just from my little bit of experience on this, real tight around here where it seals up to the top of the horn. Because I don't want nothing running down or blowing out. In fact, I'm going to wrap it a couple times to keep from being blowed out like we've had happen in the past. Okay, camera got a little askew, but like I said, I'm going to double this up. I might even triple it up. And I'm making this extra wide, this funnel. Now it's not going to be poured nearly this deep. Maybe 3/8 of an inch thick. Like I said, you can only do it, you can only pour it one time. If it gets screwed up, well, start over again. Been done before. Alright, here we go. That should be the final wrap. Now that's, I'm hoping, more than adequate. And you can see there's nothing real special here going on. There we go. Now I'm going to heat this up and make my pour. Like I said, it's just plain masking tape wrapped around there. Hopefully, I've had success. I had failures. We'll try for a success story here. Here we go. Okay, here we go for a pour. It goes fast. Once it starts coming out, it really goes. Uh-oh. Here we go. There's a pouring. We have poured. Now that probably came up, and it's going to be a little hard to see. I'll show you here this in a second how deep that is here. I just want to tap that. See if there's any air bubbles in there. Little piece spit up at me there, and I can see that the brass end is almost protruding out. I'm going to pour a little bit more in there, and it's still liquid in there. Hoping it don't affect my pour any. I don't think it will. Nope, poured it all. Actually, looks good. This is going to be the, oh yeah, that covered it up. And like I said, I'm just tapping that a little bit what I'm doing here, and I'll get the camera here to show you. I'm just tapping that, and you'll see air bubbles pop up out of there. And I'll see if I can get what that looks like down in here. But when I tap on that, we'll see if we can see an air bubble pop up out of there. I think, look, there's one over here in the corner. I don't know, that might even be a piece of the, let me touch that and see what it is. That just might be a, I don't know what that is. It's getting hard already. It's going to, looks like it's starting to set up here. So I'm going to give that a couple minutes to cool off before I pull the tape. Now that's pretty warm. That's pretty warm to the touch up here. I mean, you can't even keep your fingers on here, and that's radiating down into the horn, that heat, which it's not gonna affect the horn. Them horns can take a good bit. I get this unwrapped here in a second. I'm about 5 minutes into this video, so I give it a couple minutes here, and we'll unwrap it together and see how we're doing. But that's what we're talking about. Here's the last one we poured from the last video, and that one, like I said, I'd like to have seen a little bit more height on this, more elevation, but it turned out pretty good. I'm happy with it, so that's all that matters. Some odds and ends, some different odds and ends, pieces of stuff laying around. And there's a knife blade I'm working on. There's a little stainless feather I cut out and ground out with a grinder. There's a handle for that piece of caribou. Is what that was. Here's a piece of caribou horn, waiting for something. Not sure what. Here's a funky looking horn. Now look at that. That's going to be a project of some kind. I'm not sure what that's going to be yet. That's still in the workbench. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff in the workbench. There's a little belt axe I'm working on. Piece of butterwood. Needs stains yet. I'm thinking about doing some brass pin work on it, and it's just a little belt axe. Here's a 105mm shell casing I've been working on, and it's just stippled into there with a punch, actually. Some detail of that. And I let it outside for about 2 years on my deck to get this patina on it that you see, and took steel wool, and it's really smooth to the touch. There's a little design on the back. And what we're working on here is probably, I'm thinking a lamp. There's my little lathe, but here's the top I'm working on for that, and a piece of walnut. Cut actually down the road from here, so it's a local piece of walnut. And with any luck, I'm going to put that on here. We're going to make a lamp out of that. So they would call that a trench art lamp. Let's see, we're about 8 minutes in. I'm going to start unwrapping here. I may have to set the camera down maybe to do that. No, it's unwrapping. It's staying. Here's the final results. There they are. The tape is off. Tape is off. It looks, from what I can see, it looks like it took pretty good. Now you'll see how uneven this thing is here. Let me take it out of the vise. And we'll look at it over here under the light. Okay, now what you're seeing here, that sticky shit, is just tape residue, melted tape residue, that black stuff. There's a little imperfection, but I'm thinking that'll polish out. And some impurities floated to the top of with the solder. And you should really feel the weight that give this thing. Really give it a nice feel. I'm going to shut down for now. I'm going to put the camera away for a minute, and I'm going to work on this, buff it up, and I'll show you what the final results look like. So I'll check back here when I get that complete.